Well, look, what we have to understand that this urban warfare is already taking place from day one. It's not something new, and Ukraine's Ministry of Defense and Ukraine armed forces are very well prepared for this, and they are you know. They are protecting Ukrainian cities really well. Look at the city of Mariupol. I mean, the city of Mariupol has been almost razed to the ground. And everything that happens, of course, they're throwing bombs at Mariupol, but there is also urban warfare. You know, there's battles raging on the streets of Mariupol on a daily basis. And Ukrainian armed forces who are encircled, right? But they're still able to resist efficiently. They destroy enemy tanks, they capture enemy tanks and use them against the enemy. So the same can be said about some cities surrounding Kyiv. Some of these names, the international community already has heard many times, like Irpin, Gostomel, Bucha, right? So these are all places where urban warfare is already taking place. So when we hear, these reports about Russia trying to recruit like fighters from countries like Syria, or Russia is asking for military help from China. What we understand is that Russia is running low on resources. Russia's resources are depleted, and that's why they are in a position where they have to somehow kind of replenish their resources, right? And this is a sign of desperation. This is not a sign of some smart military tactics. This is a sign that something went badly wrong. Something didn't go to plan. I mean, we're also hearing on a daily basis that Russia, there are some, firings and dismissals within the Russian high-ranking military establishment because the goals have not been achieved that were set before these generals. Like the losses are tremendous. The advances are very minimal, like non-existent. So all these Syrian war fighters, they have to understand that if they arrive in Ukraine, I mean, it's not going to be an easy walk for them. They will have to travel back in plastic bags, because Ukrainian soldiers, when it comes to urban warfare at the moment, and this is not over exaggeration, they are some of the best in the world because they've been doing this for 8 years now. And we just can feel pity for these guys. But listen, I'm not sure if it's a joke, but I've even heard some Ukrainian diplomats say this, that some of these, like the majority of these Syrian fighters, allegedly, their plan is to arrive here in the guise of warriors and mercenaries, then surrender to Ukraine, and then travel to Europe to seek asylum.
Yes.
So, do you know what I mean? And you understand that the will of a mercenary will never be able to compete with the will of a warrior who is fighting for his land, for his mothers, for his daughters. So that's a one-way ticket for those guys, I'm afraid.